as I say, the years go by, and you do forget all about these things until such occasions somebody said, well, do you remember? And you're surprised then at just how much you can.
I think it was just light. It seemed light and space. That was what Downham meant to me when I first moved out.
Coming into a place like Downham was absolutely fantastic. It was coming into a new world.
It was a very pretty rural place. No pavements. Can you imagine no pavements? Nothing. No roads.
No roads were built there.
I remember it. I loved it because I was 10, and to me it was heaven. Beautiful fields, and I really enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I was only a very little girl. I mean, but Downham, I mean, it's all been said before, it was paradise.
Now, when we came here, it was fairyland. It was utopia. Buttercups growing everywhere. No roads, of course, it was quite muddy. Little railway running through for the workmen. Fields, grass, just play, not a care in the world. And in fact, you know, I can only look back with happiness and relaxation, and yet it really, as point of view, my father was unemployed for 90% of the time. It's been a happy time for them, but I can only look back with great happiness.
To me, Downham was space and light, because we lived at Deptford and there was a huge wall at the back of, the back of the house. And as Vera said, to come out to Downham was like coming to paradise. The roads were all clinker, and at night when it was dark, it really was dark because there was no street lighting. And we went up to bed in the dark. There was no light for you. They never lit the gas for you to go up. You went up in the dark and you felt your way to bed. And it was just a matter of the space and the light and the fields. To walk, when you see these adverts for certain soap and shampoos in the television, you see somebody walk buttercups and daisies. That's what we did. Up to our necks, didn't we? Yeah. In buttercups and daisies.
Very young, of course. I was about 7 years old, and I can just remember driving along on this bus through Catford and places like that, and it gradually became more countrified, because as far as I was concerned at that time, Lewisham Clock Tower at Lewisham was the hub of the world. I didn't know anywhere else. Right. And then we arrived at the bottom eventually at the bottom of Bromley Hill, and it was all very rural and countrified.
Well, I only had 2 rooms at Deptford. It was a 3-storey house in Reginald Road, Deptford. And the landlady, she wanted the rooms for her daughter, so we wrote to the council and they give us that in Lentmead Road, number 13.
Well, Deptford is part of London's slum area as it was, and the house that I lived in at there was a flat, a basement flat. There were 7 people living in that house, and it was a squidgy little place. No hot water, no baths. Friday night was pull the bath out from under the, the sort of under the landing sort of thing, and bath in it. It was a concrete jungle. There was no greenery around there, miles from any parks. And we just played in the street as children, There was a lot of poverty around those days, and, a lot of people were out of work. But as a community, we did try to help one another then, in that area.
I was born in the house I'm living in now in Fieldside Road, but my parents and my brother and sister, who were 7 and 5 respectively, they came from Hammersmith, and they'd lived in Mews flats, to my knowledge. I think it was alive with rats or something or the other. And of course, when my mother came, to think that there was actually a flush toilet, plus a bath. I mean, that was Buckingham Palace to my mother, and my father, he'd always lived previous to that in Peckham. And to him it was just paradise. There was the fields, and there were plenty of those, and there was the trees, and a garden of all things. And I mean, there was the freedom from a brother and sister being able to play in a garden instead of being cooped up in rooms.
Well, when we first got into the house, to go into a house with an indoor bathroom, indoor toilet, and walk straight out into a garden was marvellous as far as we were concerned, because you've never seen, I mean, if you know the Elephant, there's no fields around there or anything. And the opposite side of the road to us, the houses weren't built then, so Durham Hill was just one big open space.
We came from the East End. I mean, my father got gassed on the slum during the war, and he was always in hospital, and the doctors decided that the air in Downham was ideal for his condition. So that's why we came from the East End. I always remember, my father was actually in hospital when we came here. I came with my mother to view the house, and we walked up Downham Way, and the place looked so vast, the road was so vast and clean, the cleanliness compared to the East End. It hit. My life had already started being formed. I was old enough to know about the East End, and the impressions was always stuck in my mind how clean the houses were and how big the roads were. And it was beautiful.
Well, the houses were very bare, and the walls were awful, all distempered, with this horrible beige colour, and all the paint everywhere. Very cold when we moved in, wasn't it? Trying to think what else there was. I didn't like it at all. No wallpaper, nothing there.